every part of the world is not the same, just like every woman is not the same. And I'm going to ask each of our great women, what is the biggest hurdle that in your region that you think that women are going to have to overcome, and how should they consider overcoming it? So I'm going to start with Suzanne.
So I'm lucky in that my region is North America, and I think that we've been making a lot of good strides in getting more women into technical fields and intellectual property and innovation. But I think, honestly, the biggest hurdle is with women themselves. They don't believe they're worthy. They don't believe their ideas matter. They don't believe that people will listen to them. And so I guess what I would want to say is we want to know your ideas. We want to hear your perspectives. All of those things are valuable. And the more you can write those down and tell your stories, the more socialized everyone is to that becomes the new norm, right? Why wouldn't we want women leaders? Why wouldn't we want to hear what they have to say? They're very successful. What's wrong with men? Why aren't they as successful? I mean, let's create a new narrative and we can all just go on with our lives.
Excellent, Suzanne. Well said. Thank you. Now I'm going to go to Karen.
I think one of the biggest hurdles would be talent retention. In the region, we're seeing more and more young people, qualified lawyers who've done really well at university, wanting to opt out. They come in and they do their pupillage, which is a 9-month period. And then when we offer them a seat at the table to join the legal profession, they're hesitant about the expectations. And I think this is where the role of this amazing panel, for example, to be sponsors, to be accessible to the future of the IP world, to be accessible, to reach out to them, to mentor them, to sponsor them, and to share the experiences in order to empower them to stay on in the profession. We need them. They're the future of the next generation of IP lawyers and people who are involved in the IP world. And so that's one of the main hurdles. But I do believe we can overcome this with the strength and the commitment of women who are already involved in IP, whether it's at GLIPA, whether it's at WIPO, and other such organizations which are strongly advocating for women to support each other and empower each other.
Excellent. Thank you, Karen. Maria Fernanda, your thoughts?
I am a 51-year-old woman in Latam. When you reach this age, job opportunities start to decrease. Even though you have a good curriculum. We live in a world where corporations usually say they work on being diverse and being inclusive. And yes, they are making great efforts on this area, but are they really including in their list of potential candidates people trespassing the barrier of the 50 years old? I'm not sure. I guess not. But it's an untold story. Recruiters prefer less qualified people because they can be paid less and avoid a heavier economic burden for corporations. So experience in principle goes against you. For many positions, you are overqualified. So what to do? Break the cycle, demonstrate that your experience is valuable, and never, ever doubt about your capacities. I arrived to the Global Intellectual Property Alliance because this team respects and values experience and lives out the values it stands for. So never doubt about your inner powers. And if there is a will, there is a way.
Excellent. Well said. Thank you very much, Maria Fernanda. Precious, your thoughts?
For my region, I looked up some stats, and the World Economic Forum in 2002 published stats on how women make up 58% of Africa's self-employed population. It just shows how women are out there creating jobs, and aside that, they contribute 13% to the continent's GDP, which is a very small fraction compared to the 58% of the self-employed women. And the tables turn as well when you look at women in IP. There are less women patenting, less women commercializing their ideas. And one of the biggest hurdles that we face in Africa, in my region, is that women are not exposed to IP tools. Women are not exposed to patents, trademarks, trade secrets, and they do not know how to utilize all these different tools to enhance their businesses, to commercialize and grow their businesses. For me, the problem is not that women do not have ideas, because they do have ideas, but they do not know how to transform those ideas beyond themselves, beyond just their families, beyond a small business, into something that is scalable. That's the problem. Women are not thinking beyond my small business, but we need to expose women in Africa to bigger sets of businesses and how to use IP to enhance that. Women are not bringing their ideas to the table. So my call out to women is, let them bring out their ideas. They shouldn't shy away from such platforms where they could turn these ideas into big commercial businesses. Women need to harness their ideas enough, and women need to understand that these ideas can benefit them, can benefit society at large. So my call out to women is that they should not be afraid to transform these small ideas and utilize IP assets, utilize the patents, the copyright to grow and harness their businesses.
Well said, Precious. Thank you very much. All right, so we've been talking regionally, but we have, again, one of the world's highest ranking intellectual property officials with us. So I'm going to ask Lisa Jorgensen, what do you think the biggest hurdle is from a global perspective?
Thanks, Scott. And I'll have to say that the answer from Precious just now had me thinking about 10 different directions that I could take this question. So I'll start with what I was thinking about, which is, I think one of the biggest hurdles is for women to be seen. And I think that they need to be seen for what they can contribute, for what they do, for their hard work and dedication. I think that women need to take calculated risks and learn to produce your own storyline, if you will, or find a sponsor that can promote you to others. But when Precious started talking about inventors and entrepreneurs, SMEs, this is a whole nother area that we really need to do a lot of work in to help these women that want to get into business. We need to find a way to demystify IP. So we don't necessarily talk about patents, trademarks, and copyright, but we talk about innovators and creators that need to learn how to use IP to enrich their own economic situation. And when you do that, you help their community as well. But these are ways that we can help others to grow in their own businesses. As Precious was saying, they don't really know how to use the IP tools. We can teach them that. And I think this generation needs to really work on being that sponsor or being that mentor and finding ways for women to progress in their own careers, whether it's a career in IP or a career using IP.
Excellent, Lisa. Well said. And I think that's a great way to close out. So, as we wrap this up, I want to just reinforce the significance of what we've just experienced today. If you didn't know already, now you've seen firsthand, there are amazing women all over the world that are involved with intellectual property. And it really is critical to the future of civilization that we have even more women doing what they're doing. I'm hoping that the women and the men who watched this today, you understood much more deeply the challenges, the opportunities, and I would say most importantly, the ways that women can impact the world through intellectual property. Each of them in their own way, but each of them making their way. And what can I say? I'm blessed to have amazing women like them in my life, amazing opportunities to do the Global Intellectual Property Alliance together. And what can I say? To me, this was one of the most energizing conversations I've ever been a part of. So encourage you to share this with others. I encourage you to rewatch it because there's a lot that was said. And I encourage everybody to really deeply appreciate the significant role that the people who are different than you play in making society all it can be, especially women. With that, I'm going to say good day. I'm going to say also some special thanks. I want to give a special shout out to Pete Pascali, on technology. Special thanks for Charles Randolph for his great introduction. And most importantly, special thanks to our great women who spoke today and shared from the heart. Lisa Jorgensen, Suzanne Harrison, Karen Abraham, Precious Gozwa, and Maria Fernanda Hurtado. You are amazing. I'm so blessed again to have you in my life, and I look forward to doing wonderful things together to help our planet with intellectual property. And so we will say good day. We look forward to our next conversation. Thank you. Bye-bye.